Hello folks, and welcome to Tully River Quail. It's been a cold couple days here. Last night it was down to -29, so we've had to change some stuff. Even our freeze-resistant water system got frozen. So I mean, when it freezes your house pipes, it's going to freeze whatever. But so I want to do a short little video on how we deal with watering when our winter watering system fails. It does happen about once a year when it gets down below like -5, -6. What we do sometimes when it gets to be that, we put a little warm water inside the cooler that we use for our water reservoir and kind of take out the cold water, put in some hot water, and try to get the plumbing to unfreeze any ice that's built up in there. But you can't do that every hour when it's -20 something. So I'm just gonna flip the camera around here for you and show you what it looks like here. I guess I can't do that, but it's pretty nuts out. So cold winter wonderland. All right, well, I gotta collect some eggs here. So I'm gonna get inside the coop here and pick up some eggs. I'll show you what we do.
You've got quail.
All right, so I was out here an hour ago. We try to collect our eggs every hour, but when it gets cold like this, just because, you know, they freeze real quick. So it's 6 o'clock. I was down here at 4:30. I'm also going to check on the waters that I put out here. So what we do, I'll use this one over here, is we take these little Tupperwares. Let's see if I can get a better shot for you. Take these little Tupperwares and cut the top off. That way they don't jump in there. And I'll put some more warm water in top of that. Let me show you this cage that we got going on. So this is the Tully River Quail cages that we make. I'll see if I can zoom out. So I have wind flaps that yesterday when it was really cold, I put the wind flaps down. This also, I have it so that you can tuck this in so that it's kind of predator proof, but I don't need that because it's not windy tonight. I have a cage door here, I have a cage door on the other side, and I usually have divided cages, but I cut a little hole in here so they have like an indoor side and an outdoor side, and then there's a feeder on both sides. I use these feed bags as like an extra little wind protector, plus it helps prevent rain from getting in these J feeders. But let me just show you this box. I have a clip here, and I'll show you what they look like. Here's one down here. And then I have trays that have a removable scratch-resistant plastic insert there. That one gave way. And then I put sand in there in the summer. And in the wintertime, I use chainsaw shavings just to give them something to play with and scratch. But let me see if I can look in there. Here's a birdie. See if there's any eggs. Yeah, here's a egg right there. Now, sometimes they'll lay in the boxes, sometimes they'll lay, so I have to look underneath here to see if there's any eggs laying in the egg tray, and then I'll just pop that back on. So I'll go through here and finish collecting all the eggs. I got 6 cages. I got about 10, 12 birds in each one of them. And then I can take these off. These just clip on and rest on the lip, and then I have inside I'll show you on this one. Bungee cords that hold it to the cage frame. Got any eggs in there, buddy? Look out, mama. No eggs. Must have got you early. Look under here. No eggs. So, now like I said, it's not windy tonight, so I'm going to leave these flaps up, the windscreens. But when it gets really windy, even though I do have it pretty well blocked off here, an old banner from when I was in practice. But anyway, I like to give them a way to get out of the wind when it's really nasty. So I don't have any birds on the ground right now. Usually we'll let a couple males run around out here if I have some extra males, but nobody's out. I'm down to a winter system. So let me just show you here. We have a cooler upstairs on this deck up there, and there's a pump in there at the bottom of the cooler, and then a shutoff valve return line so that you never overfill it. Just to show you our system here. So we have this cooler. There's an in and an out at the bottom, and we have just regular garden hose connected to metal spigots. And here's the electric. So there's a bucket heater in here, I'll show you. And then this module controls the pump. You have to get this separately. You can get all this stuff on the US Quail store, store.usquail.com. And then this is the pump that plugs into this. But when it's frozen, it doesn't circulate the water. So we're supposed to get some weather in the next couple days or so. That's gonna warm up and get us back on track. But just to show you, there's the pump. And then I also have a fish tank heater in here. I ordered a bigger fish tank heater. That's only like 100 watt, 200 watt. I'm gonna get a 400 watt one. Now there's a bucket heater, that circular thing on the bottom. That's a 500 watt bucket heater that has its own temperature thermostat in it. That turns on at 40 degrees. And if you notice the connection right there, that's just a PVC slip joint. So that little coupler that's screwed on to the pump, and that's a 2.5 gallon per minute pump. So it's low volume. And then I put a little hose on there with a filter just to keep dirt out of it. And so in the summertime, I can take this out and the bucket heater out and keep it dry and clean and prep it for next year. I think if I kept this warm, a little bit warmer, by the time it goes from here down and does our 6 drinker bars, and then it goes to a Y valve that's connected to a spigot, and then it comes back up through a return line and straight back into this shutoff valve. This shutoff valve, so when the water gets to this point right here, it shuts off this valve, so that stops me from overfilling it. Since I have it connected to a spigot, every third time I fill the feeders, I turn it on for 40 seconds, and that puts it back to about this level, a little bit higher, or I keep an eye on it. But if I wanted to fill it all the way, then I can just turn the return line on and fill it all the way up and then scoop out a gallon. But that's a little wasteful. So anyway, that's our system, and back to the video. The line comes down here and does these drinker bars that are in the back. And those are 1-inch bars made out of flexible landscape tubing. So it's kind of a thick rubber material that has 2 nipples on each side. And the 1 inch is thicker than most of the tubing that you use, so that doesn't freeze as much. And then I have tubing connected to each tray, so when I sell one of these cages, I'll have a shutoff valve over here, a tube that goes down to the drinker bar, another tube that comes out here ready to connect into another one or be the return line. So you can theoretically put a jumper from this shutoff valve to this shutoff valve and take this tray out as a big cassette if you really wanted to. So if there's a repair that needs to be done, or you want to take them out once a year, we'll take them out and give them a good cleaning and brush them down. So, and then each cage has a metal roof, has a poop tray, and like I said, I like to put these on here just to. And then also what I do in the wintertime, and if you're anywhere where there's varmints, they can reach in this 1 inch by 2 inch square. So I put a little, I think that's like a foam board, something I salvaged from our bathroom remodel. So I have that on the sides. Nobody can really reach in. I haven't lost any birds here. I have had raccoon climb up there, and that's why I have that Mr. Owl here. So he comes in, sees Mr. Owl, and says, hey, whatever. One other thing, I have a camera up here. This is an Alfred camera, and I can actually talk through it, and you can see the red lights. Those are LEDs. So this gives me color night light. So my bedroom's right upstairs from here. If I hear anything rustling around, I can just go on my phone and open this camera. And I have cameras all throughout the house. I got 4 in the shop. I got 1 inside a brooder. And then I got a hatch cam that I put inside of our incubator. So whenever there's motion, it'll send me a message, you've got quail. So if you go on US Quail Cooperative, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about US Quail Cooperative. US Quail Coop is a breeder directory. So if you sell birds or hatching eggs or whatever, and you wanted to sell more, get listed on the US Quail Cooperative. It's usquailcoop.com. There's a founder special right now. We're trying to launch it this year in 2026. There's all kinds of tools you can use to help your business. You can get quotes. You can create invoices. There's a Covey calculator you can refer people to. It lets them put in the price, and they can base like how many eggs they want per day, and then whether they want chicks or hatching eggs or whatever, and how much it'll cost. So that's a pretty cool tool. We're going to have a little quail finder app that I'm working on, doing some vibe coding, and you'll be able to use that app and put that out on a social media post, and then hook it up with your affiliate link. And so anybody that uses a quail calculator and goes to US Quail and decides to become a member or a patron, you actually get reimbursed, or you get, depending on your breeder level, whether you're a starter, grower, or breeder, or your member level, you can get up to 20% commission on any new members. And you know, that's the kind of the cost of what it takes for me to keep this platform running. It's pretty expensive, servers and all kinds of crap. And so whatever. Another thing that you get if you join with the member specific codes, you can get a t-shirt and a little starter sticker pack. And then all the membership folk get a free Quail Mail account. So instead of using a Gmail account or Hotmail or AOL, right? You can use your name at quailmail.us, and it's more professional. And also, if you look at our sponsors on the US Quail Coop, you can get a free phone line, like a dedicated phone number just for your quail business. This is my little greenhouse. We're growing peppers for our pickled quail eggs. And here is I'll see if you can see it, my podcast booth for Quail TV. Another thing, as a US Quail member, you can post videos to Quail TV, and we're gonna have a Roku channel. So we'll have featured members up there posting videos, and it'll just be 24/7 quail video. So you can just turn on your television, your Roku stick, and click on the Quail TV channel, and it'll feature our members doing a video like this, or just introducing themselves. Hi, I'm Dr. Bob from Tully River. This is our stuff. This is what we do. So lots of cool tools you can use. Don't have to use them all, but you know, just getting your breeder listing out there and your membership out there so people can search you, a patron can join and find you through the search bar, and all the advertising that we are beginning to do for the US Quail Cooperative. And we want to be the #1 place to buy and sell quail. So, and we need co-founders or founders. You know, we need, I want at least 10 people in each state. And we need people to run those states and be state administrators. So, you know, eventually if we get enough membership, then those will be paid positions. But, you know, whatever we can do to kind of make our industry uniform, so we're all kind of selling something that's the same, and we're doing it kind of in like a black market or the underground railroad of poultry, right? So, you know, tyranny always ends up using food as a way to control the public. So if you have your own source of proteins, I mean, you can grow vegetables and stuff inside, but, you know, having your own source of protein with these eggs and with your meat here, you can survive if stuff gets shut down. And, you know, it gets crazier and crazier every day, so you never know when that's going to happen. So, okay, guys, it's over and out. Get out of that water. Just wanted to give you a little idea of how we take care of emergency water problems. And I'm going to collect these eggs and get back in and watch the Olympics. So, over and out. Dr. Bob, Tully River Quail, US Quail member number 64. I want you to join us, US Quail. Stay free.